What are the 4 levels of self-mastery for continuous improvement in your life and in your business? Now, in order to better describe these levels to you, I wanted to start with an analogy. I want you to imagine that I get a log and I stick it next to a log that's already on fire and it's burning, right? What will happen is if I put that next to it and then I take it away, it'll be burning more than when it was by itself. Okay, that log, that fire, that initial fire is having a teacher, a coach, a mentor, someone in your life that helps you burn brighter. Okay, so when we look into these levels of self-mastery, the reason why I'm starting with this analogy is you'll see at each stage how to really ignite it more to really help you move forward. So our first level is knowledge, right? Now, knowledge is potential power. I can't tell you how many times I've had conversations with people where they say, yeah, I know that, right? If you know it, but you don't do it, then you might as well not know it, right? And this is why knowledge is just potential power, because you can have the best knowledge in the world, but if you do not use anything with that knowledge, it doesn't mean diddly squat. If we go to our log example, you can have the best fire lighter in the world. If you don't switch it on and put it next to a log, it doesn't matter how good that fire lighter is. And think about in your life where you may have accumulated a lot of knowledge, but you haven't applied it into helping you move forward. You know, an example of something that I used to do is I used to read about loads of different productivity hacks, but I never used to implement them previously. And I wondered why my productivity wasn't improving, even though I had digested so many different books, right? And this is where we have to look into the next level, which is implement the basics, right? If you start implementing the basics, you'll start to move forward. If you do any sort of self-defense, they'll get you to start with the basics, the basic building blocks. This is where you understand how to light the fire and you get it going, right? But just with anything, implementing the basics is what gives you that experience. And to be honest, this is what a lot of people miss, right? You'd be surprised how many people and how many entrepreneurs I speak to that are in an information overload. So they're in this analysis paralysis, so they don't actually implement the basics because they don't know where to start. There's so many different strategies. What do I even start with, right? And this is where simplifying it, implementing the basics is a great way to get it going. So you understand how to light the fire, you're getting a bit of fire for yourself. That's great. Level 3, master the basics, right? And this is where you start to move forward, right? You're mastering these elements. For example, you could learn how to bake a cake, right? But if you don't actually bake it, you don't really have that experience, right? You need to do it. So you bake it once, all right? It's pretty good. But if you bake it 5 times, 10 times, 50 times, now suddenly you get very, very, very good at this. And this is where it's that continuous improvement, right? But it's mastering those basics. It's working out how do I really move forward in a way that works. Using that log example, mastering the basics is taking the same log, but getting it to light faster, get it to light for longer, suddenly understanding those techniques to be able to help you move forward. Incredibly, incredibly important. Now the last one, level 4, is continuous improvement. You can imagine, so we've got knowledge, we're implementing the basics of that, we're mastering it, and then what we're doing is we're looking for continuous improvement. And this is where we want to keep shifting ourselves and moving forward in a sustainable way. And one of the best ways to do this is to have someone outside of yourself to help you move forward, because everyone has these self-imposed limitations that we put on ourselves. Everyone does. And we have these ceilings. Now, this is the role of an entrepreneurial lifestyle coach, to be able to remove those ceilings and help you burn brighter. It's putting out a fire that is steaming, right? Putting it next to it, and suddenly you can move much faster and forward in a sustainable way. Because the truth is, no matter how bright we are, we all have scotomas. We all have blind spots. So what we want to do is to have someone outside of ourselves to be able to help us figure out what those blind spots are to help us move forward. And if you're someone that wants to boost your profitability, be more productive, get more done, avoid burnout, and start to actually make those shifts, then drop us a message. I'd love to see how we could be that fire to you to help you burn brighter, improve, and ultimately make more money in your business, feel happier, and feel productive in the process. Reach out, and we'll see you in the next one.